Got a 2019 Chevy Silverado with a engine power reduced message and cleaning exhaust filter must continue driving message. The customer has already taken a long road test, had the message go away and everything went back to normal, and then it came back. So here they are. Usually when you get a message like this, it means you've done a lot of idling or putting around or short trips and things are just full of soot. So first thing I'm going to do is check for codes and maybe check some data related to the diesel particulate filter. So check it out. We've got a P2463 diesel particulate filter soot accumulation code. That's a code that usually means the ECM has decided that the diesel particulate filter has such a soot load or a restriction that normal driving will not be able to resolve it. So usually when you see that code, it means that you need to bring the truck to a service center and have a service regeneration done, which may be the first thing that I try because that might fix the truck all by itself. If that does not fix it, we may have a diesel particulate filter that is beyond saving, or possibly some other problem with the system, such as plugged up diesel particulate filter, differential sensor, hoses or pipes or whatever. So next thing I'm going to do is go check diesel particulate filter loading data and see what that looks like. Taking a look here at the data, we've got a calculated soot load of 203% according to the differential pressure sensor and 72% according to other data. I'm gonna note that usually when I see this, I trust the differential pressure sensor more so than the other engine data because it doesn't seem to really make much difference on the other engine data PID I've found. So I may do some poking around under the hood and make sure everything's good and just try to do this service regeneration and walk away while I do something else and then come back and see what the results are. Service information seems to agree. It says check for any exhaust leaks, induction leaks, any sort of sensor problems, exhaust after treatment injector, make sure there's any problems there. If you don't find anything wrong there, it says to attempt a service regeneration. So that's what we're going to do. If that does not work, it says replace the diesel particulate filter. That may or may not be true depending on what we find. So this is a company truck. I suspect that it spends a lot of time idling. You can see that the truck itself has 78,992 miles, 4,840 hours. So if we were to assume that the vehicle averaged 33 miles per hour over its entire life, we could run a quick calculation and get equivalent miles and compare engine hours to vehicle miles and determine if the vehicle has spent a lot of time idling. So that's 4,840 hours multiplied by 33. 159,720 equivalent miles. So yes, this engine has spent a lot of time idling. Here is the diesel particulate filter sensor calculated load after the service regeneration. We had like 203%, now we're down to 66%. I usually like to see a lot less than 66%, but we already decided that this engine has probably spent a lot of time idling and it may be getting close to needing a diesel particulate filter replacement due to ash loading, because you cannot burn the ash out. You can burn the soot out, you cannot burn the ash out. Okay, so the P2463 is now reporting as passed. I just drove the vehicle and it has absolutely no power. We did have a P0299 turbocharger underboost code stored also, but that has not come back yet, so I may have to continue looking at this vehicle. We did have about 70%, 66% or so soot load after the service regeneration. So that lack of power could also be excessive ash loading in the diesel particulate filter, like I said earlier, and we may still have to replace it anyway. So we'll see what we see. Okay, so I did get the engine power reduced message coming back, so that would explain the lack of power. It's not so much that the turbocharger is lacking boost, it's that the ECM is actually holding us back from making any boost or making any power. I did check for codes again, and there are now no codes. So this may be requiring some research. So here I am after the final road test. As you can see, the reduced engine power message is now gone. The engine runs great, pulls hard. There are no codes. This vehicle is fixed. I may suggest a diesel particulate filter replacement in the future just based on what we found. So I ended up searching deep within the service information on why I would have an engine reduced power message yet have no codes, and I could not find any information whatsoever related to that. I could not find any reason for it at all. But what I did not show you guys, because my camera died, and what I did not tell you thus far, is that during the service regeneration, I experienced a computer problem and I had to reboot the computer midway through the process. It did not seem to affect the vehicle because when the laptop was restarting, the regen was still going and it seemed to finish on its own. So I rebooted the computer, reestablished communications, and the DPF regeneration status reported that it was complete. So from that point, I showed you guys the difference in the soot load, and here we are now. What did I do about it? All I did was disconnect the battery for probably 15 minutes. I suspect that when the laptop had a problem midway through the process, it was unable to communicate after the fact and perform necessary resets. I don't know. All I know is that it's fixed now, and that's all I've got. Thank you.